Hello lovely people, welcome to Prime Strings. I'm Henriette and today is day 6 of the Virtual Violin Practice Playalong course. It's so good to see you here. Today we're going to work on all the aspects that we have learned in previous lessons. So we're going to do some bowing technique, some left hand technique. We're going to do an extra bow exercise again, and then at the end of this session we're also going to continue with our improvisation and we're going to make it a little bit more challenging today. If you haven't already put some rosin on your bow, please do so now, and let's get ready to get started. So here's your A to tune up. Here's your D string. Here is your G. And your E string. And let's tune in double stops now. Awesome. So today we're going to think about our stance again, and you remember that we stepped forward with our left foot a little bit and we got that really relaxed feeling in your legs with your knees being quite bendy, and that's a lovely thing. Remember, we've worked on our shoulders as well, so put your shoulders down in their lowest position and we're going to go straight in with our open string bowing. And this time we're playing 2 times every note, starting on the G string again, and we're going to stop in the middle of the bow. So we're playing G, stop, G, stop, G, stop, G, stop. So 2 notes on the down bow, 2 notes on the up bow. And I'm deliberately making this shape with my hand in the air because we've been talking about letting your elbow drop and your shoulder drop so that your bow sinks into the string. We're now going to do 2 little curves. So look, you go into the string, stop it, and into the string again. And into the string on the way back, and into the string. So our bowing goes down, down, up, up. Here we go. And to D, into the string, and into and back. Did you manage that? Let's go down from the E string back to G, shall we? 2 times E, down bow. Well done. If you have been touching a number of other strings that you really didn't mean to play, for instance you were playing on the G string and you heard the G string join in, it means that your elbow level isn't quite accurate. So see if you can work out if another string that you by accident played is a higher one or a lower one. If it's a higher string that you play by accident, you need to raise your elbow a little bit. if you by accident play a lower string along, you need to drop your elbow a little bit so that you get your elbow levels just right for the string that you mean to play on. So let's listen out. If you have any additional sounds that you don't mean to play, we'll do the same exercise again, shall we? E again. Awesome. Very well done. Really good. So let's now warm up our left hand, and you may remember that we were doing some swinging in the last couple of lessons, so let's do that again and make it a little bit harder today. So I'm going to put my bow down and let's just swing our arm without any fingers. So I'm placing my finger line level with the E string. My thumb is upright, just peeking over the edge, and I've got my space here so I can put a pretend tennis ball in there. Okay, give your elbow a nice swing like that, so warm up your muscles. Oh, nice. Very good. Now in lesson 5 we were playing this on the D string, if you remember. So let's place your first finger on the D string again and let's give it a nice swing, and then when you're ready, swing your elbow under and slide your finger alongside the string, and then swing your elbow back as you go down. So swing under, slide up, swing back, slide down. And let's continue that for a couple more goes. Swing under, slide your finger up, swing back, slide your finger down. There we go. Do it one more time. Good. And give your arm a good rest if you find that still very tiring. That will come. It will get better over time, but it's early days, you know, so it's all right if you've got a bit of tiredness in that arm. Okay, so let's go back in the same position with that left hand, your finger line, your thumb, your tennis ball. And this time let's place our index finger on the G string, and we're just going to swing a little bit more again. Here, and now we're going to swing our hand up on the G string and swing back while your finger comes down on the G string. Up and down. So this time let's swing your elbow a little bit more swiftly under the violin and slide your finger just a little bit further, just to push it along a little bit more. And do that one more time. Wow. And one for luck. Excellent. Wow. So you've come along quite a long way. Trying that on the A string first, then the D string, and now on the G string. It won't get any harder than this. So well done. Very good. Pick up your bow again. And now we're going to do our extra bowing exercise for today, which is one that we've already done before sometime. We're going to play on the A string now, and we're going to play at the point, but not quite at the point, a little down bow stroke. And now we're going to set the bow at the heel, but just a little bit away from the heel, and we're going to play a little up bow. Back to the point, a tiny little down bow, back to the heel, not quite at the heel though, and a tiny bit of up bow. Do you get it? Down bow at the point, up bow at the heel. And again, down bow at the point, set it without bouncing if you can. Now go to the heel, up bow. down bow at the point, up bow at the heel. One more, down bow at the point, awesome, up bow at the heel. Yes, good, very difficult exercise that. Well done. Now let's play an A major scale and an A major arpeggio. And we're going to try and incorporate all the techniques that we have learned in the past lessons. So, step forward with your left foot a little bit. And wriggle forwards and backwards. Okay, drop your shoulders down in their lowest positions. Check over your bow hold. So we want to have a nice bent thumb. Your middle finger opposite. Remember those two spaces between your index finger and your middle finger. And your ring finger and your pinky. Your pinky is on the side edge, and you make sure that your middle two fingers are coming over the bow quite generously, so not on the top but over. Our left hand, slide your violin up on your shoulder first of all, so that your violin's close to your ear. Check over your finger line, your thumb and your tennis ball. Now you're fully in position. So we're playing the A major scale. Twice every note with long bows, and you know what to do when you're already further advanced. Pick your most difficult A scale, any version, your version is good. Here we go, join in with me, twice every note, and lovely job. And you know why I'm always insisting and work so hard on a good posture, a good bow hold, a good violin hold, a good stance. You're much more likely, when you've got all these things in place, to play perfectly in tune. And this time I want you to listen out if your playing is 100% perfectly in tune. So you've got to come to a position now where you no longer accept any notes that are less than 100%. So let's play this A scale once again, shall we? And really work on your tuning. Fix things right now if you come across a note that's not quite 100% in tune. And So let's play an A arpeggio straight away. And so lovely. Now think for yourself, did I play every single note perfectly in tune? Yes or no? I don't know. I can almost hear some people say. So when we play, we always want to listen out to how we're doing. If your answer was no, it wasn't perfectly in tune, can you recall which note it was that was giving you a bit of grief today? If you can, let's answer the next question. Let's see if you can work out whether your note was a little bit sharper than you expected to play it, so a little bit higher than where you wanted to put it, or a bit lower. If you are going to fix it, you need to know what to do, don't you? So have a think, and which finger was your weakest finger? Maybe it was the second finger. Oh, can I make the second finger a bit higher or a bit lower? See if you can answer those questions for yourself. Have a think about what happened, and it may be that you think, oh, I can't remember. Let's just play this arpeggio again, shall we? And let's listen really, really carefully. 2, 3. And I'm hoping that now you've been listening much more carefully, and it's much easier for you to answer those questions. Were you 100% in tune? The answer can either be yes or no. More or less isn't a good enough thing on the violin, sorry. So if you weren't quite in tune, was your finger too high or too low? That's a good question to answer, and probably if you've listened much more carefully the second time, it will be easier to fix. So let's play this arpeggio one more time, and let's see if we can get absolutely 100% positively in tune. And noticed how incredible it is when you actually start to listen, how much better in tune you can be. Well done for achieving that today. That is a major step forward in your progression on the violin. Super. Now let's do some improvisation. So you may recall that in our earlier lessons we had groups of 4 counts, and we put 2 groups of 4 counts together, where the second group of 4 counts was exactly the same as the first group. And then just towards the end of our last lesson, we were changing the second half. So the second group of 4 beats was slightly different. Okay, let's practice that again, shall we? So I'm playing 2 groups of 4 counts. Listen out what changes on the second group. And you've noticed, hopefully, that nothing changed here. So now think about this one. So you noticed perhaps that this was a copy but upside down when the second half of this piece came along. Let me play this again for you. And now B comes first. Ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum, ba-dum, bum. Did you make it that time? Great, well done. So now let's practice this. D, 1, 2, 2, 3. A, 1, 2, 2, 3. So when we analyze this, what has happened? Some people will say, oh, you just played a D scale. Good answer, well done. Some people might say it's twice exactly the same, but the first time was on a D string, the second time was on the A string. Good answer too. So however you assess it for yourself, what the difference is in those two groups, it doesn't matter so long as you get the answer right, okay? But your listening at the moment, your listening is very different now, isn't it? Because you know there are going to be two groups of 4 notes. And that is where we want to go. Now, let's try a few more challenging ones, shall we? So I was playing 3, E, 3, 2, 3, 1, 0, 0. Shall we do this one again? Wow, that was a bit different, wasn't it? Let me play you a different one now. And I'm going to go on the G string. D, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, none. I'll just play this one again in case you find this difficult. G, 1, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, none. I think you're making great progress, even though this is really quite challenging stuff. Compared with where you came from last week, it's just massive difference, isn't it? So well done, very good. Now, I'm going to give you one more challenge. So, let me think of a really very difficult one. I've got to rack my brain now. Well done if you got that. Well done, very good. So let's think about why this one was a little bit more difficult compared with the other improvisations that we've done. And that is because we're now not playing alternate notes that are next to one another in a scale, but we're having larger gaps. In music, that's called, we have larger intervals between the notes. Of course, playing the violin, you can probably also see what the intervals are like, because you can see that I was playing, hopefully, on the E string first and then on the A string. But you may also now start to tune into the fact that you sometimes hear small steps between notes, and notes are more or less like a scale. And sometimes you can hear some bigger steps between notes, so your notes are probably more like an arpeggio. Let me give you one more example, and then we'll carry on in our next day, tomorrow. But let's see if you can work out where the gaps are between the notes. So I play D, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, D, 2, A, 3. Shall I play you this one once again? Awesome. That's as hard as you've done anything yet in this course, so that is really, really good progress. Some of you may have said, oh, that's easy because you're just playing a D arpeggio at the end. Good job, very well spotted. And this is where we're going to go next. Can you recognize scale and arpeggio patterns in your improvisations? Because you've got so much knowledge about scales and arpeggios in your head now that you might begin to use that knowledge in your improvisation. So you've done a marvellous job today, really, really good. And we're going to build on that and push that area of improvising a little bit further in day 7. So I very much look forward to seeing you again then. Goodbye.